Okay, let's be honest with ourselves here for a moment. This is a gaming franchise that's been around for almost 30 years. From arcade fighting to beach volleyball, if you play one of these games, you most likely know what you're getting yourself into. This is a series that's known for having slightly controversial styling and physics of some of the characters. And almost every review I've seen of this game makes that the main highlight of the review. And I was thinking to myself, what do I want to say within this review? Like, how do I want to go about reviewing this game? And I thought to myself, okay, are the slightly controversial styling and physics of the game really the only thing that this game offers people? Well guys, let's find out. It's Dead or Alive for Sega Saturn. Released in 1997 for the Sega Saturn, Dead or Alive hit the shelves. So Dead or Alive is a very simple, basic, classic arcade fighter, and it reminds me a lot of the Virtua Fighter and Tekken games, where you can just play around and mash buttons, but if you really want to learn the massive amount of combos in the game, you can pull off some crazy moves. And this home console version offers the player quite a bit of content to choose from. There's the standard arcade mode, then you have survival, training, practice, kumite mode. There's a lot of different things that you can do in the game. Like, it's not a massive amount of things, sure, but for what the game is and when it was released, it offers a decent amount to choose from. The stages that you fight on in this game are pretty basic. There's not a whole lot going on. However, if you get a player to the edge of the stage, there are explosives on the ground, so that does make for some interesting gameplay. One of the things that I think kind of sucks about this game is the lack of characters. There are 8 playable characters with 1 unlockable, and you can also unlock some costumes for the players. That's kind of a bummer for the game. I feel like they could have used a little bit more, but I mean, for what it is, for being its first entry into the series and for being on the Saturn, it's not horrible, but I just feel like they could have put in a little more characters. One of the things I noticed playing this game right away is it begs you so much to play with a joystick. It just begs you. Like, the controller that you use with the Saturn works fine, but with the way the moves are and the buttons, like, it just begs you to play with an actual joystick. Like, I find myself having to kind of like hold the controller weird, like claw my hand, and it's like not ideal if you're trying to do actual like combos and stuff. It just begs you to really use a joystick. I mean, if you're just playing casually, just mashing buttons, that works fine. But if you really want to like play the game and like get deep into it, like, you need a joystick. Like, that's just what it was made for. Like, it just doesn't feel natural when you're trying to use a controller. But that's not to say that that controller just doesn't work at all. It works fine. It's just, in my experience playing this game, it just begs you to play with a joystick. But we're not just going to skip right over the main part that everyone knows about. We're going to talk about the jiggle. This is a key staple point that has been around since the very beginning of the games. It's what Dead or Alive is known for. And in this game in particular, you can go into the options menu and toggle this feature off. I said can, I didn't say you had to. And as the games went on, you just saw this feature more and more exaggerated, and it just got to the point where it's like, man, this game just knows its reputation and doesn't care. And you see that in some of the moves that the characters do as well, with this game and in the much later games too. They were like, yeah, we already know that this game has a reputation for being a little controversial, so we're just gonna like up everything to 10. It's like, it's hilarious to me, honestly, because like, the game doesn't try and hide anything, and it's just like open with you, like, yep, this is what Dead or Alive is, and I can appreciate that. But I mean, it's not really a big deal. Like, if you want to turn the stuff off, you can turn them off, but like, it's not a huge problem. So there you have it. This is a fighting game that is very aware of its reputation and just doesn't care. And I can respect that. It's Dead or Alive for Sega Saturn.